been almost 2 years now that you've had the car store. Is this where you planned to be 24 months ago?
It's where we hoped we would be, to be honest with you. Did we know it was going to be as successful as it? No. As many folks know, we ran the Pro Cup Series for a number of years without a lot of success. And we just decided we needed to change. So we decided to have the late models and the super lates. And to this point, I would have to say we have been very, very successful.
So let's back up 2 years. This was probably about the time you had to make that decision, was it not, of what you were going to do. Take us through that whole process 24 months ago and what sticks out in your mind from that.
Well, as I said, we were really struggling with the Pro Cup Series, and that was not an option to continue. We were aware that the UARA had ceased operations, and the late model stock fellas had no traveling series to participate in the year of 2014. So that was a no-brainer. We thought there was definitely a need for late model stock touring series. We weren't sure if that could stand on its own, so we kind of went back and forth about what else we could offer. I had several car owners come to me and express an interest in having a second super series in the area. After consideration and talking to these folks and learning some more about it, we decided that might be a viable option. And that's how the Super Series came into being, just from competitor input, we'll put it that way.
So 2 years after that, now you have this deal. What are some of the things that you did or thought of doing then that maybe you've changed or adjusted or tweaked a little bit and still maybe plan to work on, say, the rest of this year, next year?
Good question. For 2 years, as you folks know, we've offered a dual show, late model stocks and super lates, with a certain amount of success. Things that we have considered doing and starting to activate here in 2017, number one is a change of venues. Our 2017 schedule has 3 brand new tracks that we're going to. So we're pretty excited about that, and we hope that the fan base in those areas are excited also. The second thing that we have come to realize after much discussion is that the fans seem to be more interested in shorter events. Take your dirt racing for an example. Very, very popular. You go to a dirt race, it's just overflowing. I think one of those reasons is because the races are shorter. Are they more exciting? I don't believe so. I've been to some of the bigger dirt races, and quite frankly, they're not as exciting. But I think people's attention span has shortened over the years, and for someone to sit there, unless you are a major race fan, for 150, 200, NASCAR's found 400, 500 miles, that's a long time. And especially for the younger fan. Us older people, we're used to it. But for the younger fan, they want some excitement, they want the thing to start, they want the thing to end. And that being said, we are taking a look at changing the format, if you will, of some of our events in 2017 to try to appeal to those folks. As I have preached to our competitors, we are in the entertainment business. I don't care. I know it's a sport. I know it's a business. Bottom line is we have got to entertain people. We have got to give them what they want. And it appears that they want something a little bit different than what we're offering. So that's why we're gonna go out there and try to see if what we have come up with is of interest to them.
Let's go down that road a little bit. You're not changing all the events from the sound of it. You're going to try this once or twice and see how it's received.
Right. We're what we have done, and it's not official yet, but I'll just let you in on it. We have looked at 4 different formats of events. Tentatively, 3 events. There will be the same format for 3 events each, and then there's one format that has 2 events. But no, we're trying something. I'm not satisfied with our front gate, with our live attendance. Tony, I don't want to sound braggish or anything, but I doubt very seriously if there is any series, any racing venue that you can go to that has more exciting events than what we provide. Last week at Hickory, unbelievable. I believe the late models was 16 lead changes, 11 lead changes. Okay, 11 lead changes. Just bumper to bumper, fender to fender, just tremendous. But again, it's not the competition. I think it's just the fact that people, they can't stay tuned in that long. And so for that reason, we're going to do some experimenting. If it doesn't work, you're absolutely right. But if we don't do anything and just continue to do the same old, what can we expect? We can only expect the same thing, the same results.
You're probably going to take some heat for this because people in Daytona do this all the time and, oh, this was horrible, this was, whatever. But yet some of those ideas, in fact, a lot of those ideas have worked out to be very good for the sport as a whole. Namely, let's just take, for instance, the chase and the elimination style format they use at that level. So where do you get these ideas from? How do these things come about, and how do you, other than taking them to the racetrack, how do you really test them and feel them out to know what might have a chance of working?
Well, we don't. That's the only way we're going to find out. Again, we have to walk a very fine line, trying to keep the competitors happy and the fans happy. And I'm not saying that everybody's going to like what we're going to do, but we're going to try. Our objective is to present a program that is entertaining to both young and old. I mean, let's face it, our racing audience is becoming quite a bit older than what we would like to see happen. That doesn't bode well for the sport in general. So I think we have to do, I hate to say what the young folks want, but that's kind of what it is. Because the young folks are our next generation. Now, I probably am not going to be around to see that, but if we just keep doing what we're doing, there's not going to be another generation, and racing in general might be a thing of the past. I don't think it's any secret that the young folks today are not into automotive as much as my generation was. When I was 16, 18, 20 years old, our thing was our car, and that translated into racing. today the young folks are more interested in their car is just a means of transportation. That's all it is, to get from point A to point B. They could care less whether it had 4-barrel carburetors, 4 on the floor, leg pipes, or anything. Man, you had to have that when I was a kid. And therefore, we went to the races to see the guys run. That's what I think we're up against right now.
Everybody thinks of the old ASA tour that was around for, 25, 30 years, it seemed like. Mm-hmm. And then they sort of faltered. Pro Cup came about, had about a dozen years where they were the pinnacle. Mr. Brooks passed away. You tried to pick up the torch and it wasn't there. Do you see now this series having the potential and the capability to fill the gap that those two marquee legendary series filled during their prime time?
I would like to believe that. I don't know how much longer I can be active, but I've got a couple, 3 young, energetic folks that work under me, and we're making plans for this to continue. The last thing that I want to happen, Tony, is what happened with the Pro Cup. I don't want this to go by the wayboards because I passed away. That's not why I have dedicated myself and my finances and stuff. I want this to continue. I love racing that much that when I am gone, I would like to be able to look back and still see these fellas competing, fans being entertained, and just doing what we're doing. I mean, it's terrible that something caves in because a guy passes away. Look at the lives that affected. Not only drivers, but owners, vendors, mechanics. You know, at one time, the Pro Cup probably provided a livelihood for, 250, 300, maybe more people. And it just quit. I don't want to see that happen. That's terrible. And like I said, we're making some internal plans here for that not to happen. And I want our competitors to know that as long as we're around, they have a home to run. They have a home to run. They have a lot of money invested, a lot of money in their equipment and everything. When Pro Cup went out of business, I can't imagine the dollars that's sitting in garages in the southeastern United States. Absolutely useless.
Thanks for sitting down, taking some time with us. I want to keep you through your next bus trip. I know it's coming up this afternoon.
It is.
But thanks for sitting down, letting us get to know you, and kind of exposing what's coming down the pipe in the future.
All right. Thanks, Tony.